Hey, and welcome to another Cafe of the Day. I am Sean, and today we are at the Sweetwater Coffee and Tea in Murphy. So Sweetwater is a chain. Actually, it's a chain of franchised coffee shops, and this one is owned by a community member in Murphy, and which is kind of neat. The franchise gives an opportunity for a larger company to get its brand out and allow for local ownership, which is neat. It's kind of I'm sure you're all familiar with the McDonald's model, but that also comes with some drawbacks in that the personality is often under pressure, right? The personality of the shop or the shop owner typically is not able to come out because it's repressed by the corporate mandate, which is you do things our way and you can benefit from our expertise, our economies of scale, our marketing efforts as well, and our best practices and our know-how. That's what you get as a franchise owner. So Sweetwater is one of those, and this one happens to be in Murphy, and we're going to go and have a look at how they do coffee here at Sweetwater, as opposed to some of the other large major brands that you might be aware of. And we're going to test the normal one latte. We're going to start with the espresso. We're going to test the latte, and then we're going to test their signature drink, talk about the shop, what it looks like, what the decor is about, the noise level, the standard things that we talk about for any coffee shop, as well as how comfortable it is, what's the ambiance like, is there ample electricity, and what's the pricing, and the noise level. So I'm going to go get to my first drink, which is the espresso. I didn't really know much about the beans here, which is, again, another interesting thing. If you have a craft coffee shop or typically in a mom and pop shop, there's a lot more attention given to understanding what you're serving. And I found when I asked the baristas here about the coffee, they didn't know anything about it. They didn't know the sourcing. They didn't know what the blends were about. They told me one was blonde, but that's about it. They didn't know anything about it. So there's that. We figure we'll go ahead and do an exploratory type tasting today without it, which is good. We can kind of detect where the beans were from the taste, where they're from. We'll try that. But then also the level of knowledge. Like I'm wondering about how the detail that's going to be put into the drink and the level of knowledge, which again is a typical thing you'll find with franchises, is that the attention to detail and to individuality, the personality of the person who's making the drinks tends to get stifled by the need for corporate to ensure that they're doing things the corporate way, all done the exact same way every time. So again, you have trade-offs. One could be that you have high quality as mandated by corporate. The other could be that there is little personality or little individuality as a trade-off. So we'll see how that plays here. I'm going to get my espresso and we'll be right back. All right, so as I was waiting for my espresso, Bob was sharing a story about how the Germans, how coffee was introduced to the West by the Turks laying siege to Vienna. And so I'm going to, thank you, Bob, I did not know that. I'm going to post that story with, indeed, coffee trivia. And that's what you get at the coffee shops. You get this community ideal of sharing and talking about information. I've just been educated today, all because of coffee. So we've got, I don't know if you can see this. This is, again, this is a few seconds in, but not much of a crema on this coffee. Which, okay, give it a taste. Okay, it's very subtle. I do get a really Brazil Colombia kind of taste on that. It's kind of an earthy, probably a low chocolatey. I'm getting, yeah, this is probably a Brazil. It doesn't really stand out or strike me in any way. On the finish, though, like the chocolate does come in a bit more on the finish. So it's got a good, strong, dark chocolate finish. We'll call it that. But there wasn't much of a crema, so to me, the extraction probably could have gone a little bit longer, I would say, to kind of develop that post-bloom. But again, it's not unpleasant. Let's put it that way. But I want to see how that bean plays with the milk, from the oat milk for this next latte drink. So we'll be right back. The three baristas I hear all have prior coffee experience. which is pretty cool. Explaining that this shop has been open for 2 months. But again, it's just this franchise. We can also talk about the decor about the shop. It's kind of standard corporate, nice lighting. Sound's not too loud. Let's go ahead and measure the sound here. I'll show you while we're measuring here. Not really much more than a -30. You won't have a hard time talking in here. The music is kept down to a manageable level. As far as electrical outlets, not really going to, I mean, there are a few around. It's not plentiful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
I don't want to put that.
That's all right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And here's the rest of there.
Oh, so there's an overflow for the drink? That's brilliant. What's your name?
Cree.
Thanks, Cree. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
So Cree, one of the baristas here, just brought me my coffee. So this is a double shot of espresso and an oat milk latte. And she brings, you've got this, they bring this on the saucer, but there's also the overflow that she gives you. It's interesting. This was just a small, or a regular, medium. I guess there's the 8 ounces here and probably whatever else in that medium. So pretty neat. I like that. That's awesome. You get kind of 2 drinks in one. Let's go ahead and give this a try. So the oat milk does stifle that coffee taste quite a bit. As a matter of fact, it doesn't push through the milk. So a lot of the characteristic of the bean that I was tasting before. That's good. Good standard latte. Little high on the drink temperature. And I would like for that bean to shine through a little bit more, a little more fierce on the coffee flavor. But again, it's okay. And it's not a bad coffee experience. It's just not an outstanding one, or one that stands out. Let's put it that way. It's a good mid-level coffee experience, one that you can appreciate and enjoy. For the neighborhood, it's a good place to come. As I was saying, there isn't ample area for plugging in. You don't have a lot of outlets, so for coffee, you come in and have your coffee, maybe as long as the battery can last on your computer, but you're not going to hang out all day, because I would say you're in here probably no longer than an hour, and then you're on average. I would imagine that's what you're looking at. I'm going to get my order ready for the caramel cream, I think is what it's called. Their signature drink, which I'm looking forward to. See how they do that. Be right back. So I'm waiting on my drink. I have a correction. It's not the caramel cream. It's the cream caramel is the name of the drink. They have a full menu of drinks. They have their signature drinks. They have their teas. Their like super stylized teas. They have their frappuccino. That's a trademark. Their frozen drinks. There's a full array of drinks to order from. Thank you, Cree.
You're welcome.
That looks lovely. As I was just talking about the drinks, Cree brought me the cream caramel. See that? Nice. That cream is heavy on the top. No, it's whipped cream. So I'm having a hard time getting to the coffee. Maybe I should stir this up a little bit. So the coffee is even more subtle. It is a desserty drink. It is not really sweet, which is different than I expected. So it seems like the cream and the caramel components are hanging right up there on the top for you. If you mix it up, I would imagine you get some more of that. But as an entree to the coffee, which is below this layer, probably an inch of cream, the vanilla is pretty forward, but it's not sweet. And then you have the coffee just kind of hanging out there at the bottom, not really pushing through at all. Just kind of chilling below all of this stuff, not willing to take a back seat to all of the other stuff, but it's not overpowering. So not super sweet. It's not off-putting from a sugary standpoint. You still get a bit of coffee just carrying it through. It's a fun drink. It doesn't sizzle with sweetness. And that's it. So I've got one more thing coming. Chocolate croissant, I think. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and do a walkthrough. So we have our yummy today. This is a chocolate croissant. It looks a bit weird to eat on camera, but I've had some chocolate croissants that are just will blow you away with the chocolate filling. It's a good mix between the chocolate and the croissant, the buttery, very good dessert, and goes well with their coffee. One last thing about the decor. On the walls, it's got just little pictures of old Murphy, the old citizens of Murphy, and then kind of it's enlightening to the history and the origin and how Murphy came to be. Um, I guess, right? But what you're really just taking is snapshots of people who used to live in Murphy a long time ago. So with a grain of salt, but it's kind of neat at least to see that stuff. Um, depending on what, depending on what your origin may be, it might bring some things to question as well. But I think it's neat anyway to share the history. That's it for me. We're gonna do a walkthrough, and so you'll see what the store looks like. Thank you very much for joining me today, Cafe of the Day. I'm Sean. Enjoy your coffee.